Michelle to be telling you about after she does her thing.
Raise your hand, and that'll only enhance the interactivity and then ultimately lifetime value of the customer. So it's not about gamers, and it's not about just getting them online to have a good time. Maybe they are doing that if that's the client's goal or your goal, but they're also being advertised. They're getting an advertising message that's very custom. So everybody wants to capitalize on the popularity of social networking sites and the inclusion of user-generated content, but in a controlled online environment. Behind the little flap, this is definitely a key. This is our champion for sure for promotional. But this inclusion of this little game piece, we saw a 200% lift in response using this game piece versus the same piece without it. So huge. And analyzing, whether or not they signed up for the product, we found that, again, people that have a game piece signed up at a much higher rate. And April will go into a few more details on that.
A little bit about my background. I actually spent most of my career in financial services, so go financial services. Was recruited into the newspaper industry. The Dallas Morning News and their parent company, AHVILO, are very committed to really rethinking what news and information content really means. So thinking beyond the print, thinking beyond the footprint. And so I was brought in, I've launched a 360 warehouse, I put a CRM application on it, built a team of analysts and statisticians so that we can dig deeper and find out what it means. And when it's outside of our skill set, partnered with fabulous companies like Jill's company, Communifax, to really leverage new technologies and new information to drive results. So we have done a psychographic segmentation on our customer portfolio for the Dallas Morning News. Basically, how do you relate to news? How do you get your news and information content? Some folks are online only. You're probably online only.
Yeah, of course.
In fact, if I ask you to raise your hands, how many of you subscribe to a newspaper? Right, that's why I have a paycheck. Thanks, guys. But some folks are news junkies that far outnumber any other in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth market. Every time I catch myself using an acronym, I'll try to explain it. And those were the online folks. And then a segment called disengaged, which is a strange way to think of them. What they really are is a convenience segment. So if the paper's there, they'll read it. Or if CNN is on, they'll watch it. But they're not really particular or passionate about any one brand or flavor or channel for their news. Just if it happens to be around, they'll pay attention. Otherwise, they really don't. And if we got to point 4, it was really exciting. We ordered a pizza in the conference room and had a party. So what we really needed was something new and something different. So we partnered with Communifax because they're the leader in the offline to online strategic methodology, for lack of a better term. We looked at some of the other vendors, but we landed on them because of their reputation and their cutting-edge technology. Here's your sales pitch. Okay. And what we wanted to do was a stealth acquisition campaign. So for there's one thing that Dallas is passionate about. It's the Cowboys. They're a little bit insane over the Cowboys. The stadium is open so that God can watch the game. So we had the Cowboys come over because we knew that there was a natural synergy there, and Communifax came in and talked about how the promotion would work. The Cowboys were thrilled. The newspaper had never brought them a promotion like this. And so it really kind of reinvigorated our partnership with the Dallas Cowboys. If only they had done better this season, we'd probably be doing more stuff like this. But alas, Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson, sad. So we're the nation's 15th largest newspaper. We're working to make that even bigger. So hey, by this time next year, that might be a better number. Maybe 1 digit, we're hoping. So we have a readership of more than 1.6 million folks. Something non-boring.
Stealth
Drive a lot of
acquisition.
visits to this microsite. You'll notice that it has a lot of umbrella applications to it. So the Dallas Morning News Incorporated isn't just the Dallas Morning News. We have Al Dia, our Spanish publication. We have Quick. We have WFAA, which is a local television affiliate. So what we wanted to do was really bring all of those brands together into one microsite content, obviously with the Dallas Morning News featured prominently everywhere you went. We wanted to obviously increase home delivery subscribers, and we needed to get their information, but we also had the opportunity to, I'm going to close your low battery mode.
Yeah, it should be not low anymore.
We were able to get them to answer some questions that we couldn't get anywhere else, like how often do you read a newspaper, what's your primary source for news, what's the primary newspaper you read if you do read a paper, and which part of the newspaper do you turn to first? I don't remember off the top opted in to receive additional information from us.
Some of the games you could play.
There we go. And the last few view the winners, so they could, a video, it could be a picture,
Or
or
an
it could be
essay.
an essay.
And they were not posted real time, because if anybody was, a naked fan of the Cowboys, we obviously didn't want that content up on our conservative Dallas Morning News site.
There were a lot of tattoos, pictures.
There
They
are a
did-
lot of tattoos, some of them very interesting.
I'm the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan, and I'm going to tell you why. You're going to hear all about people that have got all sorts of merchandise. I got all that. You're going to hear about people that have been to every game. I've seen every game for the last 14 years. I've been a diehard Cowboy fan since the very beginning, since I was born. But now I'm going to tell you the real reason why I know that I'm the #1 Dallas Cowboy fan. Come on. This is my son, Dallas.
Hi!
This is my son, Will, and this is my son, Win. That's right.
We
I named my
verified that
kids
first
Dallas,
picture.
Will.
Before they sing the song. It's cute, but we only have a couple minutes.
Million total page views during the course of the promotion, which was about 8 weeks long, today. 7 page views per session. 40% of them returned an average of 12 times. The newspaper registered more than 165,000 total subscriptions, so it far exceeded our expectations. Our seed mailing with the pieces on it, we had a test sell without the pieces on it, but we had predicted we'd like to see a 1% response rate. We mailed 250,000 pieces, so we had a much higher response rate. This thing went viral. We were in 48 of the 50 states, and more than 57%, so it was close.
Okay.
57% opted in for future communications from us and the Dallas Cowboys. So that way that's meaningful for them. So not with necessarily in our best interest, but how do we speak their language in order to get them to convert to the results that we want to see?